All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Kodash, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great and Stone, Shalom to the elect, pushing this word in truth and in sincerity, with the hope of receiving mercy of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shai is the name of His only begotten Son. We so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the Israelites, according to the prophecies written in the scriptures. I will make it known that the RFID microchip is the MOTB. Yahweh Shai, whom the world ignorantly called Jesus, is about to make his return upon the earth to deliver his elect and to pour out judgment as it is written. So I just want to jump straight into this lesson, And right now, this word that is going out is having a crippling effect on the society which the leader out here in Jamaica is pushing. So right now, those that are declaring that Jamaica is going cashless is going to be looked at as someone who is foolish, someone without discernment. To the Prime Minister and declared it, but if you really watch what's going on in other countries, and you see the stage is being implemented out here in Jamaica, you can see gradually, because you have something named gradualism, you can see gradually where the country is heading. So I'm going to let the leader of Jamaica speak to you.
Welcome back to Primetime News.
And a special welcome once again to our viewers on onespotmedia.com.
Up first this evening, Prime Minister Andrew Holness has fired back at critics who have been circulating information suggesting that the government is removing cash from the system.
Speaking at the Inter-American Development Bank's Digital Transformation Forum in St. Andrew today, Mr. Holness described the claim as simply stupid.
Kelisha Williams explains why.
Sections of social media have been in a frenzy following an increased push by the state, particularly the Bank of Jamaica, to increase digital transaction services to the public. Some people have interpreted the initiative to be an attempt to make Jamaica completely cashless. But speaking at the AC Hotel in St. Andrew on Wednesday, Prime Minister Andrew Holness rubbished those claims.
There is no attempt by the government to remove cash, meaning paper money, from the system.
Mr. Holness said he's actually worried that Jamaicans would interpret the information in that manner.
Just stop for one moment. Just be rational. Why would the government spend billions of dollars to change currency to a new, durable banknote that we don't have to be changing it ever so often, only to turn around and take it out of the system? Don't you see it is stupidness? But the number of people who have followed it gets me worried about what Jamaicans are consuming as information.
He further questioned the logic of the concerns raised.
Where is our reasoning? And why is it so simple for us to be attracted by rumors? As your Prime Minister, I have a duty to call it out when I see it.
And while Mr. Holness stressed that there are no plans to mandate digital currencies, he urged Jamaicans not to fear the technology, as it could be beneficial in conducting certain transactions. He said the conversation should be about how the government can strengthen the laws to protect the rights of people in the digital age.
It is very hypocritical, because the same people who are trying to prevent you from using technology are using technology. When you see them post, tell them, come off TikTok, come off Twitter, and go and talk in the town square.
The explanation...
Same can't make them talk at us, because they go before the face of the people who are going at the opening, of the streets. And we declare these things to you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, because a lot of people worried about this cashless transition, isn't it, to the digital economy. But you're supposed to think about where that is heading to, you, which is that RFID microchip, which is going to be a new identity in this new world order. And it sounds far-fetched to most, isn't it? But in the days and months to come, it's going to be more obvious, yo, what's really going on. Because what the leader is saying is like it's not taking place in various countries around the world. And you're nobody compared to these other leaders around the world in India and in China. Let's see what's going on in India,
where we now touch over 2 billion consumers globally, and really from debit to...
Let's read this. MasterCard launches Team Cashless India to boost digital payment. Listen to this.
Prepaid, and now we're one of the global leaders in account-based, payment systems, which means bank account to bank account payment capability. And that again is having a transformational effect on how consumer behavior and how commerce is getting conducted in different parts of the world. We've realized it's not just about technology. It is also about bringing together awareness, education of merchants and consumers on the power of digital and the power of formalizing their businesses, and therefore what it does for their growth. And today, this is another one of those many steps that we are taking. The Team Cashless India campaign is now what I'd call step 2 of step 3, where we've been in this journey, where we are now going to take this up another level and really going to invite people to participate in this program and actually call in or write or send a missed call to really tell us about merchants that they would like to have digital payments acceptance who today do not have payments acceptance. And then working with the Confederation of All India Traders and other fintech partners, MasterCard really hopes to bring this to a much greater scale.
Alright, so that's just India. Let's see what's going on in China.
Good morning. So when I moved here to China a couple of months ago, I kept getting funny looks every time I would pull cash out of my wallet to pay for things. And then I got one of these. It's a code on my phone, and now I can basically buy anything here in China.
I don't want you look on this and believe this is something recent. This is 5 years ago. Okay?
When you pay for something, how do you pay for it?
Mobile phone.
On the streets of Beijing, cash is definitely not king. What do you think of people who use cash to pay for things?
That's rare and weird, he says. Only the elderly and people who don't know how to use a phone pay cash. This woman says, I rarely take my wallet when I go out, just my phone. That's because those phones can buy just about anything, from clothes in the store to steamed buns on the street. They're used to pay for bike rides and bus rides, rent and utility bills.
When was the last time you used cash? A month ago? Wow, that's a long time.
WeChat and Alipay dominate China's mobile market, and payments on their platforms totaled more than $5.5 trillion last year, a 200% jump from the year before, and nearly 50 times more than the value of mobile payments in the U.S.
One of the big reasons mobile payments have caught on so quickly here in China is because of what most people here don't have in their wallets: credit cards. They basically went from a cash-based society to a cashless one and skipped the step in between.
China has leapfrogged the U.S. into...
Yeah, when I'm saying the step in between, So you see where the card system was all about?
Where in the near future, physical money will become like these, relics of a different age, and will only be found in places like this. In other words, hard cash will disappear. It will become electronic.
No, not according to the leader out here in Jamaica. That's ludicrous.
Transferred by things like these. So what's the rush to get rid of cash? And what's the cost? Let's face it, money is cumbersome for consumers and banks.
You need to mint the cash, you need to print the bills, you need to transport them in armored trucks, store it in secure vaults, and you need to sort it at the till as well.
Operating in cash costs countries about 0.5% of their GDP every year. But cost isn't the only incentive to move towards a cashless future.
Demand is rising, primarily demand from young generations who are looking for fast, easy-to-use means of payments.
Digital payments aren't just easy, they're neat.
It becomes easier for governments to monitor tax evasion and fraud, so we will have...
What's that? It's easier for government to monitor. And what them showing tax evasion or fraud. And it won't just be monetary tax evasion or fraud, yo. Just best believe it.
Less of that going on, probably.
Having every single payment automatically recorded is efficient, but there's a downside.
Let's assume, for example, that a country that used to be democratic, where people were not paying too much attention about safeguarding their privacy, becomes undemocratic and someone wants to control citizens more closely. They will try to infer from what you buy your political leanings, potentially. And generally speaking, just monitor what you're doing in ways that they shouldn't be doing.
The ballot boxes are kept locked and sealed.
Living in a democratic country doesn't mean you shouldn't be concerned.
There are also worries that private companies perhaps might use this data in ways that are not safe or that you might not like. And for a number of sectors, knowing what you do with your money is very important.
Electronic money trails can allow governments and private companies to access and harvest personal data. But there's another threat that's worrying banks: cyber attacks.
It was a high-tech bank robbery. Capital One suffered.
The Federal Reserve is considering a digital dollar. The implications for privacy and freedom are frightening. Hello, I'm Steve Forbes, and this is What's Ahead, where you get the insights you need to better navigate these turbulent times. Central banks around the world are examining whether they should create digital currencies. China is gradually enrolling one already. Japan may launch a digital yen by 2026. India is moving ahead in this front. The Federal Reserve is on the bandwagon here, where experiments and studies are already underway. These moves to what is dubbed a central bank digital currency, CBDC, may sound like making sure financial institutions are keeping up to date and ensuring currency stability amid cryptos that are crashing in value, along with the sensational multi-billion-dollar collapse of crypto exchange FTX. Now, advocates say CBDCs will help central banks better fight inflation because they'll have more direct control over the money supply, that it will sharply speed up transaction payments between buyers and sellers in the marketplace, where settlements, most particularly if they cross borders, can take days before a payment clears and you can access your money. It will also help fight money laundering and keep rogue nations from evading sanctions. But central bank digital money is ominous. The downside of governments being able to track digitally every single product or service you buy and sell is chilling. This is where China is headed. India has been trying to reassure skeptics by declaring that transactions would stay, quote, largely anonymous, end quote. But government bureaucracies won't be able to resist the temptation. They'll always have excuses like fighting crime or combating tax cheating. CBDCs would give officials a powerful tool of control and manipulation.
That's it right there, yo. A powerful tool of control and manipulation. So just imagine when the chip start get implemented around the world. Because the leader out here in Jamaica I push a false narrative like, because them spend some money on some new banknotes. The world is not moving towards this digital era. And I believe that you are go out here, doing what you think. Let's go into some scriptures, yeah? So this is 2 Corinthians 10. So this is 2 Corinthians 10 verse 3. For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh. For the weapon of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds. So The leader out here don't want to pull down the strongholds they want to put over the people concerning this digital era, you know. But they tell the people themselves to start think digital, you know. But him see the backlash to what's going on. You have a lot of people now, is him the common man, I speak out against what's going on. And his remark is what it is frightening. Let's believe the people out here in Jamaica, they're asleep. But believe me, they are watching you, yo. They are watching you and they're seeing what you're doing. And the more you push this society, the more people are get awakened to this transition. And a lot of people is not with it, yo. But them can't stop what's to come. And that's just the truth. And that's why you're supposed to turn to your how about shy no more than ever, yo, because what? You come to the realization of what this world is all about. Verse 5, casting down imagination and every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of God, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of a Mashiach. And that's what we're doing, you know. And we're going to continue to declare this. Coming Saturday, we're going to be out there again, Andrew. Yahweh Shimon Shai will. We're going to be out here telling the so-called Jamaicans, which are predominantly Benjamites, what's coming. Which the end goal of the elites is to microchip the world population, yo. That's the end goal. So this transition right now to this digital era is just part of what's to come. People paying on their phones. Your phone can last, but that chip, once it is embedded in you, it's not coming out back. So I just want to make this quick video with that. I want to say Kalalal, Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim Yahweh Kodesh. Shalom.